Tonight's newscast is brought to you by Kokomo Auto World, located at 3813 South LaFountain Street, Kokomo.
Good evening and welcome to KPTV News. I'm Samantha Tiki with a wrap-up of this week's headlines for Kokomo and the surrounding areas. Tonight's newscast begins with a look at a mass casualty exercise at Grissom last weekend. The exercise trained Army, Air Force, and Marines on how to protect a Middle Eastern country's voting process.
So for us, it's getting Marines prepared to be able to not just fight against insurgents, but also deal with the public and deal with all the different problems with rules of engagement.
During the exercise, an attack occurred using actors as insurgents to test the reservists' abilities to work together, aiding and evacuating the injured while still protecting the voting process. For a closer look at the mass casualty exercise, go to kokomoperspective.com/KPTV. Two national drum corps competing for the world title are being hosted by the Kokomo community this week. Santa Clara Vanguard, a corps out of California, is practicing and staying at Taylor High School, while the Cascades out of Seattle are practicing and staying at Memorial Gym. Both drum corps are considered to be some of the best in marching music and will compete in the Drum Corps International World Championships this weekend in Indianapolis. Tickets are $15 for Indiana students and families for the event at Lucas Oil Stadium. More information on the Drum Corps International World Championships can be found on www.dci.org. If you're looking for something for the whole family to do this weekend, head out to Foster Park for Rumfest. This year promises to be a fun-filled evening for the whole family with music, food, and arts and crafts. There will be many great performances by local musicians, including Kokomo's own Sylvia. Rumfest starts at 5 p.m. August 10th at the Foster Park Pavilion. All proceeds benefit the Kokomo-Howard County Arts League. Up next on KPTV News, two Kokomo doctors are accused of laundering money made from dealing drugs, and what to do if an active shooter enters a school, how an exercise is helping train school faculty to keep kids safe in Howard County. Those stories coming up after a word from our sponsor.
It's the middle of summer, and our deals are sizzling. It's time for a scorching summer clearance at the Midsummer Clearance Event. Going on now only at Kokomo Auto World. It's a world of autos. Get great savings in the quality you trust when you buy a new Ford vehicle. Ford, go further. And right now, enjoy special 0% APR financing for up to 36 months. Don't miss the Midsummer Clearance Event at Kokomo Auto World, west off US 31 on South LaFountain, or KokomoAutoWorld.com.
Welcome back to KPTV News. Here are this week's top stories. As teachers head back to school, a new exercise is preparing them on what to do if a shooter enters the school. On Tuesday morning, Indiana State Police held an active shooter training at Northwestern High School. The active shooter scenario used police officers as role players and trained school employees from Howard County on what to do if an active shooter is at the school.
Our number one priority is the safety of our students. So to do something like this for our administration and as a county, I love that we've included administrators and police and fire personnel from all over, that we come together as a community to develop ways to combat this issue.
Plans for luxury apartments are cause for a major debate in Kokomo. Redwood Management plans to build luxury condo-style apartments on the city's south side, and with a monthly rent starting of $1,000, some are claiming the high costs may not fit the community. Approval for the rezoning for development was passed by the council on the initial reading, but the council has one more vote on the rezoning of the property. 4 Kokomo doctors already accused of dealing drugs are back in court again. Prosecutors say businesses owned by 2 of the doctors were used as a front for profits made from dealing prescription drugs. A complaint filed in the Howard Superior Court accuses Drs. Don and Marilyn Wagner of prescribing controlled substances to patients for non-medical reasons, then receiving large sums of money from the patients while sometimes seeking reimbursement from insurance or Medicaid. The Wagners are also accused of using businesses they owned as a front to launder the money. Court documents say the doctors had a corrupt enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, causing the action to fall under the Racketeer-Influenced Corrupt Organization Act.
What the statute says is if you can prove that an individual has engaged in a pattern of racketeering activity that has basically benefited an enterprise, you have the right then to sue that person in court.
Doctors William Terpstra and Robert Brewer are also listed as being involved, as well as physician assistants Gary Hartman, John Hewitt, and Thomas Hewitt, and registered nurse Linda Richards. All face criminal charges. The prosecutor is seeking an order requesting all assets be seized and the licenses of both Drs. Don and Marilyn Wagner be permanently removed. They must also forfeit all the property listed in the complaint. The Wagners are also suspected of trying to hide their assets from prosecutors after their arrest last March. A value on the total amount of assets is not known at this time, and no date has been set for a hearing on the action. Thanks for watching KPTV News. Join us every Wednesday at 5 for the latest and up-to-date coverage for Kokomo and the surrounding areas. For KPTV News, I'm Samantha Tiki.